Welcome, y'all. Gonna try a third time to get a Skip Barber at Sonoma Raceway in. It has just been one hell of a day. Let me just put it that way. Don't break there. But we're already off to a better start than the last couple of races, considering the fact that I haven't gone off track on my first lap yet. Yeah. It's been one of those days. Same place, same exact lap. The only good thing is that, well, good or bad, I'm not sure, is that the race actually split this time. Both other times they didn't, just a single race, no split. And we did get one interesting thing out of that, where we were learning about how not to do that. But the alien that was there that had like a 7K I rating was talking about how you kind of need to stab the brakes to get it to rotate a little bit better through some of the hairpins, and it's like, kind of goes against everything I learned about driving the skips. He's doing shit like that, but that's why he's a 7K and I'm not. But it also means maybe one of these days I can actually start screwing around some and start playing with stuff like that, instead of just trying to constantly get my laps better. And I also will have enough car control to where I can do that without just being worried that I'll be flying off in some random direction. So this will be a good second lap if we don't screw it up here at the end. By the way, the weather is currently 108. The track temp is 108, which is not bad. Much better than our first race, it was 84. And about the same as our second race, which was 113. See y'all on the grid. Because I'm a dumbass, we're gonna have to do post-race commentary today. So I'll get this started and kind of talk over it. Actually got a good start this race, but I couldn't do much with it. And I could have tried jamming it up in the middle there, but in the low split, you're asking for trouble. Because who knows who would have actually quote-unquote won. So I decided to play it patient. And just kind of go with what I had. The guy trying to pass me on the outside right there, just, yeah, it's not going to happen. Not through this. So yeah, today has been an awesome day. Just kind of one of those days. It's like you think it's done being a crappy day, and it's just like one more thing. This is my third attempt at doing a race today, and just couldn't keep it together. Kept screwing up and doing all kinds of dumb things. So the footage of which y'all will probably never see. Let's just say they were silly, stupid mistakes that I'll point out on the track where the problems are. So one of them would be here. If you see yourself going wide, tap the brakes nice and gently, because if you lock up the wheels, you're going to go straight, keep going straight, you know, momentum and physics and all that, and then you're going to ensure you hit the wall instead while you're trying to dodge it, which I know and have several times. Oh yeah, here's the first mistake of this race. And now we're gonna get a corner cut. We got a corner cut here. And I was just trying to get off the track, so I was like, whatever. Pitch all you want. I just want out of the way. And so then we go. So yeah, there's been several times I've dodged the wall in that hairpin like that, and this time I just didn't quite get it. And then after I used my instant repair after that, I then spun out at the top, back up there. And I'll point out what happened there. And then tried to be clever, and since one side of my car was kind of smashed up, the front right, or the front left, I was like, I'll smash up the front right a little bit, and then everything will be good, right? Yeah, I did it a little bit too much and got the back too. And while it would go straight for a little bit, and then it would do that thing where it'd suddenly start kicking out to one side, which I absolutely love the damage there of awesome randomness. Which I would like to point out is complete and utter horse crap, because if what they're trying to model is the back wheel being loose and barely attached to the car and kicking out, which are like flopping around, it should be very consistent, either constantly flopping around or just being a big ass anchor you're dragging behind you. Not this consistent every 5-second random kick out bullshit. Make it one or the other one, dicks. So right here, if you catch a little too much of that curve and you go wide, and you get out to that exit curve before the curve starts, you're gonna have a bad day, because that sand is very slick. And what happened is I just barely caught the sand, and the car started rotating, and by the time I hit the curb, it was done already. And off I went. The great thing is I didn't touch anybody else in any of these incidences. So that was nice. I see a fatal flaw in doing it like this. Just do this. Where are we? What lap are we? We're lap 3. I didn't realize I took out that cone. So, and after all that other shenanigans, and I forgot to hit the start record button on this race. Yes. Just kind of one of those days. Just like, oh, you have a reasonable race there. And, yeah, well, sucks to be. Oh yeah, I'll also point out I moved the FOV way out. Since this is a post-race commentary, it might be nice to actually be able to see something. I feel like I'll leave this on for the rest of this just so that you can actually see what's going on. Even though I hate all this stuff being on the screen. I really wish they would replay all the normal like black boxes and stuff and splits and all that good stuff. Part of the replay too. 'Cause it'd be nice to be able to see all that. We are slowly catching the people in front of us. If I remember correctly. I'd also like to point out still that I don't really understand these the number of laps again, because what is it? Star Mazda at Road Atlanta is 15 laps faster times than this. At like sub 120, like in the high teens, one minute and then high teens. The super fast people. And still even like usually the 120s, mid 125s for the slow people. And I mean, Formula Renault had the exact same times that I saw, and Formula Renault ran 22 laps, and Star Mazda ran 15, and here we're in the skips, 21:30s, and we have 18 laps, or 17 laps, sorry. Don't make sense, I tell you. Looked reasonably tidy through there. It's so weird being able to actually see around me. Really need to get my setup fixed so that I'm closer to my monitors. Yeah, we're slowly catching the two in front of us. Just slowly but surely. This is still it's interesting to me. A little bit less speed in that whole front section, that first section, like I guess, if you want to call that a little bit of a turn left there, a turn 1 and 2, can be incredibly challenging, while being just a wee bit slower and it's like a super easy turn. It's absolutely amazing to me, but you know, it's a difference of pushing physics versus being right at the bleeding edge, knife's edge of physics, and what it'll do for you. Because one of them you have some room to play with, the other one, if you screw up at all, you're done. Not that I'm saying I'm at the bleeding edge, but my screw-ups are bigger, so. But I was sad to see that the Skips are racing on the Cup layout instead of the International layout. I think it's the International. The International layout is a fun little turn in the middle of it. We just get basically a straightaway on this thing. Why do you do this? It only adds like 20 seconds per lap. Well, okay. So my few goes at it without practicing much was my best lap's like 2 minutes. And currently my best lap here is like a 1:27. So, about 30 seconds. So we're just working our way up to him. Slowly but surely. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't run more races at Zolder since I had a fast enough pace that I should have actually been able to get some good races in. Just had way too much other stuff going on last week. This week getting much better, yay! True forever. Yeah, that curb there, if you get up on it, if you're not careful, it'll help. It'll incentivize your car to rotate just a bit more for you, and you can spin out pretty quick easily if you're not careful. And if you just lose a little bit of steering input there, like turn instead of holding it, you kind of ease off. It'll help you not over rotate. I feel like I'm one of the few people that's not laying down a smoke screen going into that turn, which means I'm either doing it wrong or something else. Right there, that's another place you have to be careful of. I forgot a lift, and as you saw, it then becomes a game of don't lose it, don't lose it, don't lose it. Oh my god, oh god, oh, oh. Yeah. That was totally on purpose. for the style points and not accidental whatsoever. Can't prove otherwise. I will say, I think I thought we handled that nicely, and that we just kind of dirt rallied it and went with it. I will say that on the race before this one, we had a really quick alien in there that they had like a 7,000 high rating. Not quite 7,000, but close enough. It might as well be. And he was kind of talking about how the way you need to do the two hairpins, like this one and then the other one, kind of got to jab the brakes a little bit to get the back end loose to kind of help it around. Just like, but I thought we didn't like it when the back end came loose. There's a reason he has damn near 7K already, and I don't. I'm just gonna say that, but it was really interesting to kind of hear some of the things that I guess once you actually don't suck at this game, at driving, what you can do and get away with. So basically our whole goal right now is just to be consistent and not push too hard and just wait, because I mean the dude in front of us is basically giving us all the time we need to catch up to him. And as you can see, it's only lap 9, so we got a lot of time left. We have plenty of time to just be patient and kind of wait until he makes a big enough mistake we can capitalize on it. And then with that mistake, we're in a really nice position to be able to capitalize on any small mistake he makes. But with the way this guy is, it's like one of those things that one of the reasons I don't really like trying to pass people, especially in the lower splits, is in certain situations, because when they mess up, they usually tend to double and triple down on those mistakes, just like I do. And I'm not saying I don't do this, but... And so then that usually will end up taking out whoever was trying to take advantage of said mistake. Oh, maybe we can do it now. Doing a little wide, he's going slow, we can get him. Gotta not screw up here, so we'll brake a bit more than we usually do, and, well... Okay, just don't lose it, don't lose it, hold it. And no. Alright, we're right by the pit entry, so maybe we can hurry up and get there and not lose too much out of it. Just gotta not, you know, slam into any balls or anything, and... Okay, how much for that? And now we have a slow race, a broken-ass, busted car slow race down pit lane. And I don't know, I should have stayed way over on the left there, so he's smacking me here. I looked at that, it wasn't his fault-ish, sort of. He had his car kind of at that point where it was just going all over the place, and he should have slowed down, but he wasn't purposely trying to hit me. So then it's a question of, okay, who's closer? So I screw up in the wrong gear, and I'm off, and he's still there. Why is he still there? When I looked at it, he took tires and fuel. He missed his pit box too, which would have hurt him even more, but I mean, that just solidified it of not going to be anywhere near me. So we're still in 5th, though. The only one redeeming aspect of this. I mean, that was pretty funny little... I don't know what else to call it, but a cripple fight. There through the pits. Just... So what happened there was I went too fast, and I think he went too fast. And it also didn't help that with the way my view was, my normal FOV is, I could barely see him out of the side, and I thought he was coming out on me. And he wasn't. He was holding his line. He just lost it on his own and then went inside and smacked into the building there. I just completely screwed up and lost it like I always do when the fishtailing starts. And as always, I like to blame my crappy, small, tiny racing wheel. My wheel's like a 9-inch wheel, so it doesn't help when trying to do precision maneuvers. So, and yes, I know it's maneuvers. It also probably doesn't help that it seems like no racing game will really seem to trust that I want. Like, I think Dirt Rally is the only one that actually respects the sensitivity down, because the set of course is just like, nah. You can put that little number of degrees anywhere you want. I don't care. You're getting this number of degrees of rotation. It's screwed. So I have to rely on the gamma input, which is basically kind of nice. It looks more like a exponential curve instead of a linear line. So lower in, you don't get as much input, but the further you go out, the more you get. So this game, iRacing doesn't have it, but it has it on the brakes. Which I don't understand that, because friggin', I said of course it doesn't have it for the brakes, but it has it for the steering. Okay. Dirt Rally has it for the steering and not for the brakes also, but the brakes aren't. Dirt Rally brake precision is not really a thing. So yeah, we're at the 5-lap point. 5 more laps. The guy, so there was a guy when he came out of the pits that was about 3 seconds to us, and we start slowly pulling away from him. And the guy in front of us starts at 21 seconds, and we start putting some work in, and start hitting at about 2 seconds per lap, but do the math, that's not enough. This is a very interesting track as far as spectators go. Because unlike other tracks, like, the spectators actually can see a good portion of this track from a lot of different places. Unless you're those guys and you just get to see the airplane. Still not sure if I like it or not, how they actually fill out the bleachers and whatnot. It is a very interesting detail, though, that when you're there just hot lapping by yourself, there's like, you know, barren, empty racetrack. And then on qualifying, you get a few people. And then you see like full grandstands and everything like this during race time. I always thought was a nice little detail. Real subtle too, because it took me quite a few races to notice that. Probably because I already had, you know, better things to focus on. Should be doing anyways during. But I'm also semi-convinced that I actually do better when I'm commentating than when I'm not during races. Yes, my focus isn't quite there as much, and I know I've made some mistakes to that, but as long as they're minor mistakes, it's not that big of a deal. No shit, right? But it's mainly just that I think it keeps me from getting inside my own head. There's quite a few times I know where I'm commentating where I had like the best race I ever had because I wasn't pushing too hard. I wasn't thinking about the race. I was just doing it and getting it done. And you know, the active part of my brain would usually be like, "You gotta go faster." Doing other things. Kind of like how in high school I was that guy that would either read a book or play on games on my calculator while still taking notes in class. Oh, it pissed teachers off so much. Like, I'm still following along, I'm still learning just as much as if I actually directly listen. Actually, I'm learning more right now because I'm not getting distracted by stupid things. And actually, that very much depended on what game I was playing on my calculator, because I like to do a lot of free cell, because that took some amount of thinking. It was also something I could stop at any time and then pick back up without a problem. Unlike Galaga, which I loved having on my calculator, but it took a bit more focus. And was a bit louder as I was smashing the fire button as fast as I could repeat. Which I partially blame the game developer for not making to where you can just hold it. Fire as fast as tapping it as quickly as you can. But one could argue there's some skill there, and so that's a fair trade-off. But I prefer not prematurely wearing out buttons on things that were never intended to be used as a gaming device. Ah, yes. So I definitely need to put in a few more races on this track. Definitely going to practice a bunch more though. That was just frustrating. I mean, I could have done with a crappy finish and just not basically being so many laps down, because it's been a while since I've been that much of a screw up. And that's the part that really frustrates me. I had this down fairly well in practice, which is probably one of the signs that means I need more practice, because until I have a good run of not screw-ups, then I need to practice more until I find some of those more of those bad spots that I can do more screw-ups in. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Because I basically start feeling comfortable, and then I need to see where the places are going to bite me when I start kind of relaxing and not being as careful around certain turns and whatnot as I need to be. So I hate getting into these no man's lanes here. I mean, I could slow down and let the guy catch me, and then we could have a nice little race, but at some point he spun out and then was like way behind me. I guess that was the other really frustrating part, is I've gotten a lot better at, you know, catching slides, or at least minimizing the amount of screw up there, and that just did not happen. Almost every single off track except for one other one, I think, ended up basically with me in a wall or some kind of car damage. So 2 out of all the ones I did ended very badly. Nice and tidy there. Finish it off. And way too slow there. Having a hard time figuring out the consistent place, because I know Ed Ricci's whole thing is on that first cone there on the right for the hairpin, but it's just way too late. And that's that. It's official. Norse does not want me to record. Thankfully, I have my voiceover on a separate track so that it won't kill me too much, but right then I just recorded the entire second half of that race with the event screen overlaid on the screen because I forgot to turn it off. When it rains, it pours. Moving on. That was a race. A race did happen there. That's all I can say about it. The only thing that we learned, I guess, is being consistent is much more important a lot of times than really being able to go super fast. But we got to lose some iRating and some safety rating for that race. That, good luck in your races, and y'all take it easy.